What is going on YouTube? It's Xfinity13 here, back at again with another YouTube video, and here we are starting a new series. Here we are starting a WWE Universe game mode. We have Raw, we have SmackDown Live, and we are bringing back ECW. Now in the next episode we will reveal who the Raw, ECW, and SmackDown Live general managers are. But in this episode, I wanted to do the draft. I wanted to show you guys what superstars are going to be on their respective brands. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so we are going in the order that is on the screen. We are going to go with Raw first, ECW second, and SmackDown Live third. Now with the first pick in the draft, Raw drafts, drum roll please, AJ Styles. That is a great pick for Raw. AJ Styles is definitely someone you can just depend on. Alright, with the second pick in the first round, ECW is now on the clock, and they pick Roman Reigns. Another great pick. Some of these superstars are going to fly right off the board, so it's going to be interesting to see where they end up. Alright, with the third pick in the first round, SmackDown is on the clock now, and SmackDown picks Seth Rollins. So two members of the Shield have been picked in the first round, with ECW taking Roman Reigns and SmackDown Live taking Seth Rollins. Now here's a quick disclaimer. I am drafting for ECW. That is the brand I am going to be showing you guys. We're going to try and make ECW great again. I really liked ECW growing up, so I want to see what I can do with that. But if you did watch ECW back in the day, whether it was in the 90s or the earlier 2000s when they rebooted, they didn't have a women's championship. They had women on there, but it wasn't for the right reason. The women were not wrestling. So ECW is not going to be drafting any woman. So just keep that in mind during the draft. ECW will not be drafting a single woman. Now you may look at that as a positive or a negative. That could be a benefit towards ECW if you think about it. While Raw and SmackDown have to draft women, ECW doesn't have to draft women. But at the same time, in the WWE in 2019, the women are taking over. We just had the first women's main event at WrestleMania, so the women are, taking over the business. So it'll be interesting to see how ECW can do without the women. Okay, so we are starting the second round now. Raw is on the clock, and with the first pick in the second round, Raw drafts Finn Balor. Now, that is a great pick for them. I wanted to actually draft Finn Balor because I thought, the Demon Finn Balor would be good on ECW, but they decided to pick him before me. So that is a little unfortunate. But here, with the second pick in the second round, put your twos up, ECW drafts Kevin Owens. Alright, so now we're just moving right along here. This is going to be somewhat of a long video, so I do want to kind of keep the pace moving. I don't want to talk too much about each pick. So now here, with the third pick in the second round, SmackDown takes Braun Strowman. That's a good pick for them. Alright, so starting the third round here, Raw is on the clock, and Raw drafts Randy Orton. Alright, ECW is on the clock now. Third round, second pick of the third round, and the ECW drafts Daniel Bryan. Great pick there. I was happy to get him on ECW. Now with the third pick in the third round, SmackDown Live drafts Baron Corbin. It's a little surprise there. He's going a little early. Interesting. Alright, with the first pick in the fourth round, Raw is drafting Brock Lesnar. With the second pick in the fourth round, ECW is taking Bray Wyatt. Nice to see him. With the third pick in the 4th round, SmackDown Live is taking Drew McIntyre. Now with the 5th round starting now, we are going to go a little faster. So in the first pick of the 5th round, Raw is drafting Samoa Joe. Next up is ECW, and ECW decides to take in the 5th round The Miz. SmackDown is on the clock now in the 5th round. Here's SmackDown's pick is Elias. Raw is up now with the 6th round getting underway. In the 6th round, Raw takes no other than Dean Ambrose. ECW is on the clock now in the 6th round here with ECW's 6th round pick. They pick Bo Dallas. Now this is going to be a surprise here, but just wait, ladies and gentlemen. Do not write off Bo Dallas. He is discarding the B team, and he is going to make quite the impact on Extreme Championship Wrestling. Now in the 6th round, SmackDown Live is on the clock, and SmackDown decides to take Rusev. Is on the clock now. In the 7th round, we are getting underway, and Raw decides to take Shinsuke Nakamura. Now ECW does have an ECW championship. They have a tag team championship, and they also have the hardcore championship. So with that being said, ECW has to draft some tag teams. Who is the ECW's first tag team going to be in the 7th round? No other than The New Day. Nice pick there by ECW. Up next is SmackDown Live in the 7th round of SmackDown takes Aleister Black. What a great pick. Speaking of tag teams, Raw is on the clock, and they pick their first tag team with The Bar. Next up is ECW in the 8th round here. ECW takes no other than Chris Jericho in the 8th round. What a great pick. SmackDown Live is up now in the 8th round here, and SmackDown Live takes Pete Dunne. What a great pick. Up next is Raw in the 9th round, and Raw takes another tag team here, and this tag team is The Revival. Nice pick there. Up next is ECW in the 9th round, and ECW takes another tag team as well, and they are taking the Usos. Nice pick there. The Usos are going to be a huge part of ECW. SmackDown Live is up now in the 9th round, and SmackDown Live takes no other than the champ, John Cena. Alright, we are now getting into the 10th round, and in the 10th round, first overall pick, Raw takes Kane. Now is ECW in the 10th round, and ECW is looking to build up their tag team division, and with that being said, they take the Hardys. What a great pick there. They are beefing up their tag team division. They got to make up ground some way, somehow, by having one less championship than Raw or SmackDown. Now, with that being said, with the last pick in the 10th round, SmackDown Live takes Mustafa Ali. What a great pick there. Now, in the 11th round, Raw is going to start off taking some of the women's division, and they are going to take Alexa Bliss. What a great pick there. Next up, ECW is on the clock in the 11th round, and they take Dolph the Show-Off Ziggler. Now remember, ECW is not picking any woman, so keep that in mind as we get going throughout the draft. Now SmackDown Live is up, and with the third pick in the 11th round, they are taking Asuka. Now back to Raw for the 12th round. Raw is taking no other than The Big Show. ECW is up now, and they are looking again to boost their tag team division. Seems like that's going to be a huge focus. ECW picks The Club. SmackDown Live is on the clock now with the third pick in the 12th round, and SmackDown Live takes Becky Lynch. SmackDown Live taking two women back-to-back with their picks. Looks like they're trying to boost the women's division over there on SmackDown on Tuesday nights. Raw is on the clock now for the 13th round. Raw picks Charlotte Flair. Now with the 13th round, second overall pick, the GM of ECW had to make a few calls to make this happen. He had to pull a few strings, but he was able to get this to happen. ECW picks CM Punk. CM Punk makes his great return to ECW, back to WWE, and he is going to be a huge part of ECW. Just wait until you see the general manager of ECW. It will all make sense then. SmackDown Live is up now with the third pick in the 13th round. We are rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. And SmackDown Live picks no other than Sasha the Boss Banks. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, with the next pick, we have Raw taking the Iconics. Alright, next up, ECW is on the clock here. ECW takes Harper. That's a great pick there. Alright, next up for SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live uses their next pick on Sanity. Great tag team there. Alright, so next up for Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw drafts here. Lars Sullivan. Alright, ECW is on the clock now. ECW takes Harper's tag team partner, Rowan. Alright, up next is SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live takes the Dead Man, The Undertaker. Alright, up next is Raw, and Raw is looking to boost up their women's division. With that being said, Raw takes Mandy Rose. Up next is ECW, and ECW is looking to get a little extreme, looking to get a little weird. And they were going to have a golden production and Goldust. Next up is SmackDown Live, and SmackDown Live is looking to boost their women's division with the pick of Naomi. Feel the glow. Next up is Raw, and Raw is looking to take another woman. Back-to-back picks, and Raw is picking Paige. Again, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, ECW does not have to take women. They could if they wanted to, but there is no women's title, so what is the point? Now, with that being said, ECW takes next Sami Zayn. Up next for SmackDown Live is another woman. Back-to-back picks for Raw and SmackDown, with going with the women. SmackDown takes no other than the Bellas. Next is Raw, and Raw decides to take with their next pick Jason Jordan. Next is ECW, and ECW is picking Heath Slater. Keeping the trend of women, SmackDown Live is taking Carmella. Raw is up next, and Raw is taking Jinder Mahal. ECW is looking to get a little more physical, so with that being said, they take one of the more physical men in WWE, Mojo Rawley. Up next, SmackDown Live is on the clock, and with three women back to back to back, they are going to go back to back to back to back to back with Nia Jax. SmackDown is boosting their women's division by quite a bit. Up next is Raw, and Raw is taking Velveteen Dream. What a great pick for Raw, but ECW is up now. ECW takes Cedric Alexander. SmackDown is up now, and they are taking their 5th woman in a row with Kairi Sane. Raw is up now, and they need to make up some ground in that women's division. Raw is taking Ember Moon. ECW is up next, and again, they don't have to draft any women, so they decided to draft Apollo Crews. SmackDown is up next, and it looks like they are going to be breaking their streak of 5 women in a row, and they are going to be taking Chad Gable. Raw is up next, and they are taking Curtis Axel. CW is up next, and they are taking Bobby Roode. We only have a couple more picks left. There are only 25 rounds. And with that being said, SmackDown Live takes Kurt Hawkins. Is on the clock now, and with that pick, Raw decides to boost up their women's division even more, and they are going to be taking Bayley. ECW is up next, and they are looking to keep the extreme trend with taking the high flyer, Shelton Benjamin. SmackDown Live is taking with the next pick R-Truth. 2 rounds left to go. Raw is on the clock, and Raw decides to pick Johnny Gargano. What a great pick. ECW is on the clock now, and ECW uses this pick on Tye Dillinger. Up next is SmackDown Live. They only have 2 picks left. Let's see who they take. They decide to take Sin Cara. Up next is Raw, and Raw decides to use their last pick on Maurice. So they break up The Miz and Maurice. They are still married, but they are not on the same brand. It's interesting to see that. Up next, ECW. His general manager had to make a couple more calls. He had to do some convincing. Someone to come out of retirement. Who is it? No other than Mr. ECW. Who do you think of ECW when you think of this man? And that is no other than Tommy Dreamer. The last pick in the entire draft. SmackDown Live decides to use it on Cassius Ohno. And that is the draft, ladies and gentlemen. If I didn't draft a couple people, like, for example, Zack Ryder or a couple other tag teams, they are going to be assigned to respective brands, but they weren't worthy of showing in this draft. I did want to keep this video relatively short. I didn't want it to be 40-50 minutes long, so I did kind of rush through this, but be on the lookout for that next episode, because we are going to show you ECW.